Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome for today's discussion on Gita Gyan, chapter 6. Okay. So today is 13th October 2024. We are just after this Vijayadashmi yesterday. So today is supposed to be Ekadasi, but because of the Tithi changes, the Ekadasi will be celebrated tomorrow. And anyway, I'd just like to update you to celebrate Ekadasi, to study Bhagavad Gita, especially on Ekadasi day, is going to be very auspicious. I hope that all of you won't miss tomorrow's session on chapter 7. Okay, when you look at this Bhagavad Gita, the Gita is divided into three aspects. Okay, it is divided into three. The first quarter, the first this thing, and the second and the third. All right, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. The first 6 chapter, the second 6th chapter, and the third 6th chapter. Okay, so when you look at this, we are coming to an end of the first unit or the first 6th chapter, and in between the 6th chapter, that means from 7 to 12, it is going to be whereby Krishna is going to reveal all that confidential knowledge. All right, this is the most sacred things. Instruction is hidden in the in between 6 chapters. Then the final chapters is of course like follow-up. Okay, so today I'm so excited to be here to discuss on this chapter 6. It's a very, very, very interesting chapter. Okay, but before that, let's do our invocation prayer to invoke auspiciousness before we start our program. Okay, so let's do our invocation prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarjadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhubevacha Paditanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavebhayo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Jayapataka Swamiti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakada Damadaya Nagara Grama Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Pasachare Starine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Sri Varshabhanavi Devi Rahitai Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Viknana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jwala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktira Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vikrahaya Namastate Namaste Gauravani Sri Murtaye Dina Tarine Rupanuga Viruddha Pasidanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestam Nitasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So today we're going to continue our chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. I'm so happy that all of you are still staying with me since chapter 1. So just a short, quick recap. Chapter 1, we studied about observing the armies of the battlefield, where Arjuna told Krishna, bring the chariot right in the middle. I want to see who is there to prepare to fight with me. And after that, when he started to see all his family members, he became overwhelmed. He became so heartbroken, frustrated, and he said he doesn't want to fight. So what are the excuses he gives? He said killing the family members, getting cursed by them, destroying the tradition, and all these kind of excuses he started to give. And after that, he said, I rather be killed unharmed and let them have the kingdom. So I don't want that kingdom. Then chapter 2 is Gita summarized, the entire Gita, and Krishna summarized the entire thing by giving advice, and whereby Arjuna surrenders to Krishna as a disciple. Okay, so in chapter 2 we studied that. In chapter 3 we talk about karma yoga. So Krishna starts slow. He say whatever things you do, you just dedicate to Krishna. That's very simple. Okay, and chapter 4 we spoke about transcendental knowledge. Why that what they call the history. Okay, studied about the soul and their relationship. Soul and Jivatma and Paramatma and their relationship, right? And then we went to chapter 5. We combined chapter 3 and chapter 4. In chapter 5, that's called Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. And today we're coming to chapter 6, which is called Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana, Dhyana, meditation, right? So in this yoga, it's here in this place is usually the title of Astanga Yoga is explained. So Astanga Yoga, a mechanical meditative practice. A mechanical meditative practice controls the mind and senses and focuses concentration on the Paramatma or the Super Soul, the form of the Lord situated in the heart. This practice culminates in Samadhi, that is full consciousness of the Supreme. So with that thought, let's start our program for today. Okay, so welcome everyone to ISKCON Malaysia. With collaboration with ISKCON Ipoh Bhakti Yoga Center, we present Gita Gyan program, the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So let's take darshan of Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Sri Sri Nitai Gauranga. Okay, and today we dedicate our program to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are always eternally grateful to His Divine Grace for creating this movement called the ISKCON International Society. Whereby he created the whole world. He built the whole he built a house whereby the whole world could live in. Okay. So he's the founder Acharya of the International Society, and he translated so many books into English, especially Bhagavad Gita he presented. In Bhagavad Gita, he did not advise study Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad Gita. But what he always say, study Bhagavad Gita scrutinizingly, in detail, because this book is so much of wonders are there. Okay. And also this program was inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. Right? He's a GBC and also a spiritual master. And dedicate also to my dear God brother, late Anadi Jagannath Prabhu of Bengaluru Sheshadipuram. He's a creator and the brainchild of the essence of Gita Gyan program worldwide. So let's look at today's Gita, today's Mahatmya, or the what they call the glories. Okay, Mahatmya. So here Lord Shiva, Adi Shankara is speaking. Sarvo Panishado Gavo. Oops, sorry. Sarvo means variety. Varieties of Upanishad. So when you combine the word Sarvo Panishado Gavo, Dogda Gopala Nandana, Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta, Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahat, Gita Mahatmya 6. So what he says is, all the Upanishad are like the cow. You know, the cow is a culmination of all the Upanishad. And the milk of the cow is Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is milking the cow. Okay. And Arjuna is the calf. So Arjuna is the calf who are sitting in front. And the beautiful nectar of Gita, that means the beautiful nectar, the nectarian Gita is actually the milk. Okay. And the fortunate devotees, that means the fortunate souls, the fortunate devotees with fine theistic intellect, that means they got a fine-tuned intelligence, are the drinkers and enjoyer of that milk. All right. So in this Bhagavad Gita, it says that Krishna is milking the cow, and the cow is Upanishad, and the milk is the Gita. So what does that mean? In according to Ayurveda, it is mentioned that drinking blood is good for your health. And how are we supposed to go and drink blood now? Right? We are not Dracula. Okay. So they say the form of that blood that we can drink is in the form of milk. All right. The milk is actually the most nectarian part of all that blood that runs in the cow's body. Right. And that it nourishes. So and here says, and the one who enjoys the milk is that you and I, who are enjoying reading Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis. So let's look at this understanding of Gita today. Lord Krishna descends specifically to re-establish the real purpose of life. Okay, like what we have studied yesterday. So he came just to re-establish the real purpose of life. Okay, let me get the highlighter. Lord Krishna descends. That means descends means came down specifically to re-establish the real purpose of life. Okay, the real purpose of life. We all have so many purpose in life. You know, we got this purpose, that purpose. But what is that real purpose of life? So Krishna descends to create the real purpose of life. When man forgets that purpose, that means when the man forgets that purpose, even then, out of many, many human beings who are awakened, that means out of many, many human beings who are awakened, that means they start to awake, they realize there may be one who actually enters the spirit of understanding his position. So that means out of so many people, especially so many holy men out there who are awakened, that means they know that I am not this body, I am a spiritual, you know, there's some kind of power, you know, they start to receive. But out of all these people, only few actually come to the spirit of understanding his position. Who am I? So here we understand that all the holy people out there or spiritual people out there, even though they seems to be in that position, but still they haven't come to the level of self-realization. All right. And for him, for that kind of people, Bhagavad Gita is spoken. Actually, we are all swallowed by the tigers of nations. Nations means what? Ignorance. Okay, we are all swallowed by the tigress of nations. And the Lord is very merciful upon living entities, especially human beings. To this end, he spoke Bhagavad Gita, making his friend Arjuna his student. So we understand from here that the reason Bhagavad Gita was created was because, spoken, because to deliver all of us through Arjuna. Okay. Being an associate Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above all ignorance. He was above all ignorance. But Arjuna was put into ignorance. He was purposely put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question Lord Krishna, about the problems of life so that the Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generation. Okay, for the benefits of future generation of human beings, and chalk out, okay, make that plan of life. Then man could act accordingly and perfect the mission of human life. Right? All this is under the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. All those who have started reading Bhagavad Gita, I of course strongly recommend you to read your introduction first. Introduction is roughly 30 pages. This is a very, very important introduction that Prabhupada gave. And by understanding, when you start to read the introduction very scrutinizingly, you will understand. There is at least half of the battle. You have already, you already get that idea. What is Bhagavad Gita and why it's spoken. Okay. Okay. Now, let's move on. So today, we are talking on chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga. So, just to recap all that, what we have read in chapter 5. Sparshan kritva bahirbayans chaksus chaivantare bruvo pranapanau samau kritva nasha bhyantara charino yatendriya mano buddhir Munir Moksha Parayana Vigaticha Bhaya Krodha Ya Sada Mukta Evasha. All right, that's in in chapter 5, what Krishna says, shutting out all external sense object, keeping the eyes and the vision concentrated between the two eyebrows. I mean, are we supposed to do chapter 5 or chapter 6? I'm quite confused. I got another class going on. Are we on the rail this thing, Prabhu? Yeah, chapter 5. Yesterday was chapter. Okay. I'm kind of confused. Too many classes running at the same time. So shutting out all external sense object, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breath within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalist aiming at liberation, becoming free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. So Krishna was explaining about the meditation process. How? Shutting out all external sense object, shutting down all the external sense object, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows. You just put your two eyebrows in the middle and you concentrate on that. Suspending inward, outward breath. That means you breathe out, stop, then you breathe in, stop. Then after that, you start to suspend. You start to stop breathing within the nostril, and thus controlling the mind. After that, you try to control your mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalists, that means the yogis, aiming at liberation, becomes free from desire. By doing this, a person becomes free from desire, fear, and also anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. So Krishna says, those who are in this state is certainly liberated. All right. So now in Bhagavad Gita, who wrote Bhagavad Gita as spoken by Lord Krishna? Vyasadeva or Vyasadeva? See, when you look at this, who wrote, the author can be okay. The what they call the one who wrote it and the one who compiled it is two different things. Okay. Example, now, okay, Dasarathan, you are a school teacher. Okay, now I'm calling you. I said, I want to write an essay in English. Okay. Say like you are my secretary and I'm a politician, you are my secretary. Okay. Now, I'm telling you, you're my political secretary. I tell, okay, today we're going to do this program, this. All right. So I'm just telling and you're writing. Okay. So now the question is, who actually spoke about it? Who actually wrote it? You or me? Are you there, Dasarathan? You understand my question? Exactly. So I am the one who spoke and you just compile it. Similarly, this Bhagavad Gita, there's actually the entire Mahabharata, Vyasadeva wanted to write. And he looked for someone who can write as quick as he speak. And the one and only person that he think of is Lord Ganesh. All right. So when the Lord Ganesh says, all right, so the Lord Ganesh says, okay, now I want a person to write. And he says, okay, so Lord Ganesh accepted that service. So when Lord Ganesh wrote, there is also what they call this thing. So Lord Ganesh, like what he call, he will tell Lord Vyasadeva, Vyasadeva, he said, I want you to speak the speed I write. How fast I write, you have to speak. Because Vyasadeva says, I want to look for people who can write as the speed of my speech. I keep talking and you have to keep writing. And Lord Ganesh says, I want you to speak at the speed of my writing. And Lord Ganesh says, fair enough. But when you write, you have to understand what you're writing. All right? You have to understand what you're writing. If you don't understand, you can. So sometimes when Lord Ganesh will stop and start to think what actually what they call Vyasadeva said. So that's when Vyasadeva is trying to recollect and continue the discussion. Okay, Prabhu? So if you see, the first person who understood this Bhagavad Gita was actually him, Lord Ganesha. Okay, anyway. So let's look at 6.3, 6.1, 6.2. Please read. Now we are jumping straight to 6.3. Now let's look at this verse. Am I breaking? Am I breaking?
No, Prabhu.
No, Prabhu. No, Prabhu.
Oh,
No,
Prabhu.
okay, okay, right. Okay, now. So let's look at this. Arurukshor manir. Oh, sorry. Arurukshor munir yogam karma karanam uchyate yogarudasya tasyaiva shama karanam uchyate. So now Krishna is start explaining about this dhyana yoga, especially on the Astanga. Okay, he says, for one who is neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means. And for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the mean. Okay, what does that mean? He says, one who are neophyte. Who is neophyte? Neophyte means the newcomers, the new juniors who are starting in this yoga system. For this neophyte, the beginner, the eightfold yoga system, in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means. What is that work? That means he has to sit and practice. He have to sit, you have to sit in that place, not high, not low. He have to apply, you have to practice all that. All right. Sometimes he can suspend the breath, and suddenly, boom, he blow out. He couldn't breathe. So he have to do all this kind of mental. I mean, he have to perform Ashtanga yoga, the eightfold yoga system, in order to control the mind. Okay, that's for a beginner. But for those who already elevated, those who have actually achieved the highest level of yoga, for them is stop doing that thing. Cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. For them, they will stop everything and they just simply sit and meditate. That is that cessation of all activities is said to be the means. All right. Now, when you see here, 6, 5, and 6, chapter 6.
Prabhu,
chapter
can you repeat that, Prabhu?
Which one, Prabhu?
The one, work is supposed the means.
Okay, for instance, Prabhu, for instance, like okay, I give you a good easy example for you. Say when you are a junior doctor, you have to do everything, yes or not?
Yeah.
But once you become a senior doctor, you don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Everyone, your juniors will do for you. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
So that means for a neophyte, the work is meant to be, is supposed to be, that means they have to apply and they have to practice. All right. It is not, okay, what actually we can understand from here. Thank God, Prabhu, you asked me the question because I just remembered. The reason for this is, it is not something that suddenly you feel like a yogi, you can drop everything, go to Himalaya and meditate. It's not that way. It has to be initiated under a certain person who have already practicing that. And you have to practice, you have to go through a huge procedure, the work, the amount of procedures that you have to go, everything. Then when you come to one level, that's when you cease your all activity. That means you stop doing all activities and you go into deep meditation. Okay, Prabhu?
Fine, Prabhu.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Now let's look at these 5 and 6. Very, very important verse. In 5 and 6, okay, now text 5 and 6, Krishna says, Uddaret atmanatmanam, Uddaret atmanatmanam, Natmanam avasadayet, Atmaiva hyatmano bandhur, Atmaiva ripur atmanaha, bandhur atmana atmamanastasya, Yenatmaivatmana jita, Anatmanastu shatrutve, vartetatmaiva shatruvat. Shatru means enemy. All right. So now Krishna says here in 5.6, text 5 and 6, the two texts, he says, one must deliver himself with the help of his mind. He has to deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of all conditioned soul and his enemy as well. For him who has conquered the mind is the best friend. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind remained the greatest enemy. All right. So what he says, Krishna says here, one must deliver himself. How are we going to deliver ourselves? That means we have to come out of this trouble. We have to deliver ourselves with the help of our mind. That means we have to utilize the mind by practicing yoga. Okay, practicing yoga means what? It's not the stretching exercise. Yoga means linking it to God. The word yoga means linking to God. So we have to apply, we have to study, we have to practice by linking it to God. That's when you can control your mind. All right. You have to somehow or other link your mind to something, either in yoga or in boga. So if you go into yoga means, that means you are linking your mind into God and everything. If you talk about boga means you are going into your mind into this sense gratification. But somehow or other, whichever way, whichever situation you are in, you have to link it with something. Okay. What happened? How are we going to suppose to link our mind? We supposed to link our mind through devotionals. That means in yoga means how? That's why we always say you must read Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis. When you read Bhagavad Gita and when you chant Hare Krishna daily, the vibration will somehow or other make your mind sober. But if you're not going to do that, but if you're going to let your mind to go as it likes, right, in sense gratification, so actually what we are doing, we are actually degrading ourselves. Because all activity in this material world are actually degrading activity. Okay, degrading. You may say, hey, cannot be what? I am a very disciplined person. I do not degrade myself. I always elevate myself. I'm a very disciplined person. I make sure that my children are doing well. And all these things here you may argue. But how many people are like you in this world? Majority, 95% people are always thinking about sense gratification. That's why this casino and all these nightclubs and all these things are becoming huge business. Why? Because the mind is always wants sense gratification. The mind wants to enjoy. All right. So actually, we try to degrade ourselves. But at the same time, Krishna also says, if you can control it, the mind become your friend. Actually, the mind is your friend for the conditioned soul. By the same time, also your enemy. All right. Just like a gun that you are keeping in your hand. Example, if you carry a gun, the gun is going to be your best friend because it's going to protect you from enemy. All right. But at the same time, when the gun suddenly slip and fall into your enemy, the same gun they're going to take it and shoot at you is going to be your enemy. All right. The gun is an entity. But how are we going to use it? So for who has conquered the mind is your best friend. That means if you can conquer your mind is your best friend. If you can't do it, your mind is going to be your worst enemy. All right. So now let me explain to you about this, our bodily structure. Excuse me. Whiteboard. Okay, you all can see the whiteboard. Okay, now we have to, okay, let me just push this thing side. Okay. Now we have what they call, we have two kinds of body. All right. First thing is we have material body, okay, which has the combination of, which is the combination of gross and, where's the n? Where's n? Okay, and subtle. Okay, we have combination material body is made of gross and subtle body. And after that, we have the things called the spiritual spark, which we call it as the soul. Okay, so now it's like this. First, we have this thing called the gross body. Okay, you all can see the thing, eh? Okay. So this is the gross body. And inside the gross body, there's another body which we call it as the there's another layer. Okay, there's another body here. Okay. Then there's another one. It's connected inside here. Okay. Now it's like this. So let's mark this thing. Okay. This is called the soul. The gross body, this is the gross body. And this is called the subtle body. Are you all following me on this? Because I can't see anybody. So you have to say something. That's when I know that you all are following me.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So now when you see in this gross body, we have 5 elements here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we have 5 elements here. And what are the elements here? Is made of earth. Okay. It also has the element of fire. Then air, water, and ether, sky. Okay, we have that 5 element, and through this 5 element, this gross body is created. Okay, now we have another thing. In this subtle body, we have 3 elements here: 1, 2, and 3. And what are those elements? Number 1, it has mind. I think better write it down, huh? Because this is something new for all of you. It is mind. Okay, it has intelligent. Okay, it has intelligent and false ego, or we also call it as ahankar. Ahankar means false ego. So we have this thing in the subtle mind. Okay, so now when you see, this is what the gross body is all about. That means this is only the first 5 elements I'm talking about. Like that, got another 15 elements. All right, example like working senses and normal senses. Like, okay, this is the body is made of this, and also we have that senses. Okay, that means we also have that. Okay, I just put it like this. All right, we also have the senses. That means we also got these senses like eye. Okay, we also have the senses of nose. Okay, so like that, we have all that 5 senses: eye, nose, ears, throat, I mean, touch and everything. Okay, are you all following me on this?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, great. So now, see what happened. Now so this is mind, intelligence, and ego. So this is what, see, whenever we hear, and I say, whenever we hear a scenario, okay, let me see. Okay, now I've got a scenario here. Okay, I've got a scenario here. Okay, the scenario is like this. Okay, so there is a scenario happen. Okay, what are the scenario that I can think of? Example, okay, I can give you a very terrible scenario. Say when someone called me cling. So imagine If anyone who calls you cling, will you be upset or not? Will you be get angry or not? Why no sound? Hello? Anybody home?
Yes, being insulted.
Okay. How about all others? Rajalakshmi, will you be angry or not when people call you cling? Dasarathan?
Yes, I will, Prabhu.
You'll get angry, right? All right. Now, let me take that example here, a scenario here. Actually, what is happening? Okay, now it's like this. See, when someone start to call you this word cling or example, all right, cling. So, you know what happened? The word is captured. Okay, say like for instance, Dasarathan, if you get angry, where the anger come from? Your nose, ears, throat?
From my mind, brother.
Mind, okay. So what happened? So that means the word cling here, when the thing happened, it is captured in the mind. Are you following me? Okay, please respond. So that's when I know. Or if not, I can go very slow. This is very, very important. Okay,
Yes, can,
it's
Prabhu.
captured.
Yes, following
Okay,
Prabhu.
it's captured by the mind. So after the thing captured by the mind, you know what happened? The mind will send the information to the intelligent. All right, we'll start to send the information to the intelligent. So the intelligent will start to interpret all the things. Yes, how dare they can call you cling? This is something which is not right. You know, this is something like the blah 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 blah. It start to give you all evidence. Okay, the intelligence start to give all evidence back to the mind. So it gives you in this thing. And you know what? Then what the mind will do? The mind will start to direct the false ego to react. All right, the false ego or ahankar. False ego means, in other words, we also call it as identification. The false identification. So this thing will start to react. And how it reacts? This thing will react through this 5 element, your ears, all right, your nose, your sense of touch. So that means what happened? It uses all that material element. Okay, it uses all that material element to what they call this is so lechy. Okay, anyway. Okay, so it uses the material element to react. Are you all following me on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
So that means, in other words, what happened? So the false ego will start to make your eyes, your nose, okay, your sense of smell, your sense of touch, the sense of all the things all start. So that means, in other words, when we hear the thing, the one that going to react, it is not your body, but it is being directed by that. Example, like for instance, I got a car and I got a choice of driving the car very nicely, slowly, carefully, or I can even take the car and go and drift. Yes or not? All right. So all depends on my mood. Suddenly I'm driving, suddenly I hear news that says that, okay, there's something great news, happy, and I'm so excited. The way I drive car is different. Suddenly I get so frustrated. You know, I'm so angry. The way I drive the car, left, and simply honking at everything. The car is just the car. But how am I using that car is the matter. All following me on this? So now this is what is how it is happening. So now let's look at another scenario here. The another scenario here is like this. Okay, all of you are following me on this. You all any questions so far? You all understand, huh? All right. Say for instance, see there's another situation here, another scenario here. Okay. Prabhu, does the false ego also deliver the concept that we are in the body, not the soul? Yes, correct. What is the meant by conditioned soul? Conditioned soul means you have condition. Exactly. 3 modes of material nature, correct. So that means you are conditioned. That means you are created in that way. You know, you have created the conditioning. Okay, now let's look at this. So now there's another problem that is happening, say like loan shark. All right, or love. Okay, break. Love break or depression or frustration. So it can be any kind of scenario here, right? Some people will take money from the loan shark, cannot pay back. Some people love the person so much and suddenly the heartbreak, what they call, and suddenly, it's a heartbreak happen and you become frustrated. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Now, okay, just give me a second. Okay. Now what happened? You have a, whether you're stuck with a loan shark or maybe you have a love break, right? Break up, your girlfriend or boyfriend just suddenly left you, or tragic divorce, or this kind of frustration, or you're depressed. There can be so many reasons. Maybe your bodily health, looking at the environment around you, your depression and all these things, all right? Or maybe you're frustrated. Maybe the children are not listening and a lot of things happen. So this is some of the common things that I'm taking here. So now what happened? Now, and out of this scenario here, whatever scenario happened, first the thing is what happened? It captures in the mind. Okay. Then the mind will send the thing to the intelligent. And what the intelligent will tell you? Yeah, what is the point? You know, I took care of him so nicely and now my children do like this to me. What is the point? You know, all the thing that I've done, I feel betrayed. I feel frustrated. All the while, I think, and all nonsense things happen. So this kind of whatever scenario situation, the intelligence will start to feed the mind. Will start to feed the mind. And you know what the mind will do? The mind will start to interpret. Yes, correct. Yes, all these things are nonsense. Work so hard. What is the point I work so hard? What is the point I do this for hard? Then the person that I love so much, this thing, or someone that I love so much, he has actually passed away. All these things, whatever things, all the thing running. And the intelligence will start to say, yes, all these things is totally unfair. The world is unfair. It's a horrible place to live in. So what do? Kill yourself. No point. Let's put a full stop to all the sufferings that you go through. So with that kind of conditioning, the mind will start to give information to the false ego. And the false ego says, now I'm telling you, I give you instruction, go and finish up yourself, kill yourself. So that means the false ego will start to engage your mind, engage your, all these scenarios. Okay. It's going to use all that scenarios here, or it's going to engage all the mind here, and it's going to engage. So then the mind says, all right. So like recently, there's one young girl who wrote say eulogy and says that, I'm so sorry that, I'm this thing, and all my friends, thank you so much. She jumped from the 8th floor, So what actually this thing? So the mind will tell, and after the mind will tell, the intelligence will give you all this kind of nonsense information based on experience that it had accumulated from millions of birth. All right. All the things that he has accumulated from millions of birth, lifetime experience, all the prarabdha karma, kutta karma, chanchala karma, all sanchari karma. So all the things it gives you, and now it tells you, yes, no point. Now you see the person, no, you just kill yourself, just forget it, just put an end. Oh, loan shark, okay, now people come and harm me, I can't do anything, just kill yourself. But I want you to remember one thing. Actually, when you kill yourself, what do you kill, my dear, what they call Prabhus and Matajis? You are just killing your gross body. You are just killing your gross body. All right. The real problem actually starts the real problem is actually in your subtle body. So when you lose your gross body, you will be on your subtle form. In your subtle form, you do not have eyes, ears, nose, sense of taste, touch, and everything. Example, now I want to ask you a question. When you are hungry, what actually tells you are hungry? Right? What actually interprets this is you are hungry? Your mind. I'm hungry. All right. There is a situation. Sometimes you have seen people who are in Africa who only eats once a week. They're still alive. But in this current stage, this is the mind will say to the intelligence, no, you are hungry. If you don't take, you are a diabetic, you go to your body start shaking, you are hypertension, you have to take medicine, you better take, blah, 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 something like that. And the false ego immediately go and engage the sense of touch, sense of taste, engage all this and straight away go and indulge, eat. You drink, right? You have all the things, you walk, you are visible. I can see your face, you can see my face. All these things when there is thing called, all right, when there's thing called the gross body. If there's a gross body is not there, you can't do any of these things. Okay. So when the gross body is killed, all right, in prematurely we kill the gross body, we will be in this subtle body, and the same time we also will suffer with hunger, thirst, and all these things. So when you really look at it, it is better for us to go through the suffering and pass through it, and rather than killing yourself. Because committing suicide is permanent solution for temporary problem. After all, is money. After all, is love. After all, is girl. What is that? You may say, yeah, you don't understand. Some people say, yeah, you don't understand. What because I was that victim. I was almost to commit suicide. That's why I'm telling you based on my almost a near-death experience. Why I wanted to commit suicide? Because I made my first million when I was 27. I became a millionaire. Right? And after that, I became a multi-millionaire. Right? And I had a fantastic life. But unfortunately, age of 33, I lost everything. And I was declared bankrupt. My bankruptcy was now less than 7.8 million. I got into a big projects. Formerly, I was dealing in all these heavy machinery spare parts. So then what happened? I was went into this, from a life of a lavish life, and suddenly I lose everything. Then my mind, what my mind start to tell me? For an honorable man, dishonor is worse than death. Of course, that's one of the things that Prabhupada Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So that was playing in my mind. Yes. So that means you better commit suicide. I was almost. But suddenly at that moment, Krishna saved me. Suddenly I felt something touch me and suddenly my mind started reeling. And suddenly I came to that idea. I said, permanent solution for a temporary problem. What happened now? I'm still well off. I'm still much more happier. I'm more contented in life. I've got 4 children. Life is beautiful, every day. And I got such a new, nice people like all of you are following me, talking to me, always messaging me. All right. How beautiful life has become when I start to engage my life in devotional service. But imagine at that moment, if I've done that mistake, what will happen? This gross body, you have to finish up your quota. What does that mean? Say, this life quota, all right, this life quota, say, I have to live up to maybe 80 years. All right, 80 years. And okay, just make it easy calculation. 85, example, 85. The time that I was decided to commit suicide was 35 years old. So that means what happened? For the next 50 years, all right, I have to roam. Okay, what happened? I'll be a ghost. All right, for the next 50 years. What is ghost means? Ghost means that you do not have a material, or you don't have a gross body. You are in your subtle form. Right? That's why when you see when anyone get possessed by ghost, the first thing they do, they immediately eat a lot. I don't know whether you all have seen that before. Anyone have seen that? Maybe you can share your experience. When a person get possessed, the first thing, what they'll do? They'll get one thing and they start to eat. Bow, 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 bow. They start to eat. They can go on eating. Like sometimes we see when the people person got ghosts and everything, they can go on eating, but they're getting skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. Right? Because nothing get into the thing, but all backed by the ghost. And they can go on drinking, they can buy that stout, Guinness stout or something like that. They can drink 10 bottles and still they can still remain sober. The person will never get drunk. Right? So what the black magic or occult tantra, they know what they will do? They'll capture this kind of soul. They'll put them in a bottle and close it. And they torture it. You'll be crying, please let me go. I want to go to my family. I want to do this. I want to do that. Blah, 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 blah. I say, cannot. After you come to one level, I think they got some certain, in Tantra, there's a certain this thing. You come to one level when when you're very frustrated, that's when you take out and they'll deal with you. Now, I will deal, okay? I will provide everything for you. But you have to work for me. What is that? That's when the black magic starts. They do the black magic, go to that house, terrorize that house. Now you go here, you terrorize this place, you go this. So whenever these kind of things come into the house, because it's very inauspicious, right? When a beggar, say like when you all are sitting in a nice place, nice room, air conditioned, suddenly a beggar or drunkard who have not bathed for a year and suddenly walk into your house, what will happen? It becomes so smelly, that he looks so awful, ugly. The whole environment will become disgusting. The same thing. Whenever these kind of things come into the house, everything goes haywire. Right? So, then, what is that
Prabhu,
punishment? Yes.
What if like a soul of abortion to babies?
Okay, I'll come back to that. When we talk about punishment, so what is that punishment for killing yourself? 7 birth without body. Right? 7 birth without gross body. So that means a person, according to the Garuda Purana, the punishment of killing your gross body untimely, the person has to go through 7 births. Say roughly 1 birth, you say example, 1 birth in Kali Yuga, you can live up to 70 years. 7 times 7 is 49. So the next 490 years, you will be having a body, you live a body without, you live a life without a gross body. All right. So 7 birth without the gross body means 7 birth, you will become a ghost. So it is not worth it. All right. When we think that we are trying to kill ourselves to solve our problem, but we must understand, we understand from this topic today, your actual problem is not your gross body, but the subtle body. But you are inside here. The spiritual soul is inside here. Right? But the real problem starts in your subtle body. If you can't control your mind, if you don't purify your intelligence, these two will create a havoc in your false ego and it's going to give you a horrible life. You can make a decision at this split second to be happy if you want to. All right. But the too many evidence your mind is telling you, you are old, you are sick, you are this, you are that, your neighbors, your fellows, all your siblings, one by one are dying off and all these things happening. Things doesn't seem to be work well. I studied so hard, I couldn't get a job. This country is racist, this, that. You can go on giving a lot of excuses. Right? And the mind will tell the false ego, now you tell the gross body to act accordingly. Then the gross body, so sad, that, and you go on sleeping, depressed and everything. So sometimes when you take these kind of, the kind of drugs and all these things, like for instance, that psychiatric drugs, my wife used to tell me, she's like, it goes and shut down certain electrical component in your brain. All right. So it doesn't like act accordingly. All right, there's certain parts in your brain, you just stop, you become so calm and composed. If the thing is also, it's like that. So like electric shock on your brain, everything, short circuit. So just think about it. It is not worth it. That's why Krishna consciousness is going to be your best option. Like yesterday night after the class, I'm doing Bhakti Sastri with these American students. I'm following that this IBNA, ISKCON Bhakti Vidya Mahavidyalaya, North America. There's one girl, she's doing PhD. She was telling about a story. Before that, she went through so much of hell of a time. But now, after accepting Krishna consciousness, after she coming into Krishna consciousness, she start to feel so good. Until the doctors was telling, I think you do not need to have a depression medicine. You do not have depression. I know a guy, Prahlad Prabhu, what do you call Pragalananda Prabhu from Las Vegas. He was a gynecologist. All right, he studied in India, but he was in Nairobi. After Nairobi, he migrated. Okay, I think he's born and bred in Nairobi of Africa, but he studied his medicine in India. He's a Gujarati. But he migrated to Las Vegas, the sin city. And Las Vegas, you just think about it, all too many illicit sex. And he was exactly engaged in this abortion. But after he started to understand all these things, what happened? He stopped all that abortion, which is supposed to be the terrible sin. All right, he stopped aborting the child and everything, and eventually gave up everything. Now, in that sin city, he's having a very blissful life. Can you imagine Las Vegas? He with his group of devotees are going around preaching, and they're doing fantastically well. So where was the difference happen? The perception. And where the perception comes from? The intelligence, all based on all our previous experience. And what triggers that? Mind. And what triggers the mind? The senses. Of course, we study as we go on. I think in this chapter, we study about that. So all these things are there to simply put your life a miserable life. Therefore, we should always chant Hare Krishna. Why we chant Hare Krishna? When we chant Hare Krishna, you know what happened actually? When we go on chanting Hare Krishna, we are actually purifying the mind. The chanting purifies the mind because it's vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Why these words? The combination of these 16 words are so powerful because Krishna infused power in that. When Prabhupada went and introduced this thing, even a drug addict could give up drugs. Even the one who are engaged in so many sex and like porn actors, they could give up all the things and straight away become a good devotee. Why? All right, the power of that mantra, because the mind is purified. But at the same time, when the mind is purified, your intelligence will never give you easy way out. The intelligence will tell you what nonsense you're doing. Look around, everybody's enjoying life. Hey, you're still young, right? You remember that once you saw your astrology, you're going to live up to 100 years, Now you're only 50, you still want to do all this nonsense, Then suddenly say, die, who don't die? But there's no tomorrow, enjoy, go and have your beer, do this, the intelligence will keep bothering you. So your mind will become dwindle. Your mind will be like confused, so you what to do. So you have to purify intelligence by studying the Bhagavad Gita. Just go on studying the Bhagavad Gita. So when your mind and intelligence both become sober, right, then it will start to change the false ego. That's why you see some person who are engaged in devotional service, before and after, their face looks so different. Before they look so frustrated, but after they become devotee, they start to be, when they start chanting, you just try and see there's even some of the devotees, like today, C.S. Tan, one of the devotees who got transformed in batch 1, Chinese person, who are from Christianity, went into Buddhism, and from Buddhism, he just looked out at Hare Krishna. Then after that, he just came and listened, and now he's totally transformed. He came to Ipoh, stayed here for a few days, and yesterday we had a meeting, and today also we had a meeting of how to start this Chinese preaching effort. I'm in charge of the Chinese preaching effort. How to create more and more Chinese devotees, and this is the meeting that we did. What happened? A person who was suddenly transformed. What went there? The mind and intelligence. Because you know why? He decided to chant 16 rounds every day. I think some of the devotees here was there, in that conversation. He said, I couldn't chant in 2.5 hours. Can I do it further? Right? Then he's reading Bhagavad Gita daily. His life is totally transformed. Of course, I'm not asking you to become full-time or do this. No. At least for the sake of peace of your mind. Even whatever years or months that you're going to live in this world, make it a beautiful journey. And everything basically falls under your mind. All right. So based on this only, I'm also a mind science trainer. I used to teach on mind science as my distinct. And I used to tell how to control and curb mind. The mind you can never control because the mind is very, very powerful. But only thing you can make it sober. All right. You can make it sober. How you can make it sober? Just go on chanting Hare Krishna. Don't worry what is that mantra. Don't worry whether this thing can help you or not. You do not even need to convert. You do not need to, like one devotee was telling me, I think some of you heard that, I think in the first part. I said, Prabhu, I want to convert to Hare Krishna. I said, sorry, no one. I said, hey, no one converts to Hare Krishna. Remain where you are. You are a Christian, you are a Sikh, whatever it is, nobody converts to Hare Krishna. We are just asking you to change your consciousness. Be whatever, wherever you are. Stay wherever you are. Simply change your consciousness and your life will be sublime. Right? Because of the suffering, when you see, imagine 7 births without gross body and all, this is terrible. So the most intelligent things that what we are trying to say, let's get rid of this, all this gross stuff, right? All this nonsense, all get rid, and okay, sorry, okay, you get rid of all these things and simply go back home, back to Godhead in your original form. So in your original form like this, which is your Swarupa. Remember that we studied about Swarupa, your original senses. This is your soul, which you are. Straight away go back home, back to Goloka Vrindavan, and never take birth again in this miserable place. That is intelligence. Okay. All right. Any questions? Any comment on this? Right. Like just now, someone asked a question. Rajalakshmi asked a question about child getting aborted. Of course, that when the child is getting aborted, you know why the abortion of the child is very sinful? See, the child has to go through a process. It has to live maybe 10, 20 years, because the human form is very rare and very precious form, because only in the human form you can achieve the highest success. But when the form is created and when the person kills it, it's going to be very sinful. You know what happened? The child will go to another body and start the process all over again. Why they say killing a cow, eating animal is very sinful? Why eating animal is very sinful? Because you're checking the progress. See, when a cow can live up to 10 years or 20 years, you kill it every 5 years because the cow has to finish its quota. That means the cow has to be like pregnant, we get into that another semen, go into the mother's body and start to live another 5 years and get killed. So within that period of cow's body, it has to be killed at least 4 times. Say like example, even chicken is the worst thing, right? If chicken live up to 2 years, imagine every 2 days, every 1 week, the chicken get killed. Again, the chicken has to be born again. And sometimes they take the egg and they break the egg, they kill in the egg. And they say, why egg is not a vegetarian? Why egg is very bad? Right? So what is the reason egg is very bad? Because egg is not a vegetarian. Because you must understand the egg is, all right, they put electric shock. That means the egg that's supposed to create life, it's prematurely created, that is it. That's why they say egg is vegetarian. All these kind of nonsense, bogus things. All right. So Rajalakshmi, are you happy with the answer? Have I answered you?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Thank you,
All
Prabhu.
right. So, yes, no problem. Now it's 8:36. Shall we take a short break? Just take 4 minutes break and we continue. Okay. Right. Everyone is okay? Is it too heavy information today?
Good,
No,
good.
Prabhu, okay.
All okay, huh? Okay. Because I have to be very careful to talk about this, but I think this is very important. Need to talk about it very openly. At least you can save someone. Not worth committing suicide. All right. So just take a short break. 8:36. Just say 2 or 3 minutes. Just stretch yourself. Go up. Just look at something else. Come back. We continue our discussion because we just started. I think by another 1 hour we could finish. Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, so he says that, so what does it mean? I mean, those who have conquered the mind. So that means the yogis are performing this kind of severe austerity, just he could able to control the mind. Okay, he could control the mind. Okay, so, but now if it's a yogi, if you can just this thing, so if those who have conquered the mind, who can bring the mind under control, is considered the super soul is already reached. Okay. He has attained tranquility. Tranquility means he's attained that perfection. To such a man, for this kind of people, happiness or distress, heat or cold, honor or dishonor, all the same. They don't care about whatever things. That's why when you see Like certain yogis, they can sit in Himalayas, even the knee deep snow. The snow is as thick as it's as deep as the knee, all right? And they can simply just walk around with kopin. Kopin means a kind of underwear without anything. Just with underwear, he could live in that snow because he's the person who have considered that conquered the mind. Okay, for him, heat and cold, everything is the same. Okay, now let's look at verse 11 and 12. Shuchau deshe pratistapya stiram asana atmana natyuchritam nati nicham chailajina kushotaram tatraikagrang mana krutva yata chitendriya kriya upavishya sane yunjat yogam atma vishuddhaye. So now Krishna is saying how to practice that yoga. Let's see whether it suits every one of us or not. So he says to practice yoga, one should go to the secluded place. All right, not in the town, not in the city. You just have to go to the secluded place and lay a kusha grass. Kusha grass means darpa pullu. Darbam, darpa. Kusha grass, because the kusha grass is very auspicious. On the ground, and then cover it with a deer skin. Why they use the deer skin? Because when you put a deer skin, right, all that like ants, poisonous animal like snakes, insects, whatever it is, will never come near you. To prevent all these kind of dangerous, these kind of insects and all this to come and disturb you, they use a deer skin. All right, and a soft cloth. That means you put a deer skin and on top you put a soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high, not too high, nor too low, and should be situated in a sacred place. Can you imagine? So you have to do it in a sacred place, not in Kledang range. All right, Kledang hill and all, okay? You can't do it here. You have to do it in a sacred place. And the yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities. And fixing the mind on one point. That means you have to fix the mind in one point. Okay? Then, samam kaya shiro grivam dharayanna chalam stira sampreksha nasikagram swang dishaschano valokayan prashantatma vigatabir brahmachari vrate stita mana sanyamya machitto yukta asita matpara. Then after that, one should hold one's body, neck and head erect, straight, erect. Okay, in the straight line, and then stare steadily in the tip of the nose. Can you all try? Stare steady in the tip of your nose. Can you see your nose? If you got flat nose, too bad. No, you have to see like, no, you have to stare tip of your nose. Okay, it's going to be very troublesome. Thus, with unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, that means you shouldn't have fear. You shouldn't like sit in the middle of the night. Hey, what is the sound? Oh, no, you shouldn't have all this kind of fear. So devoid of fear and completely free from sex life. Brahmachari vrate stita. That means completely free from sex life means what? That means a person who wants to practice yoga, he should be brahmachari. All right? He cannot be a married person with family and all this and practice this kind of yoga. Doesn't work. All right? Krishna says here, completely free from sex life. All right? One should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. And 15, then he's continuing. He said, Yunjanevam sadatmanang yogi niyata manasa shantim nirvana paramang matsangstam adhigachati. Thus, practicing constant control of the body, mind, and activities. That means constantly practicing constant control. Okay, body, mind, and activities. The mystic transcendentalists or yogis, his mind regulated, attains the kingdom of God or abode of Krishna by cessation of material existence. So that's when they go and achieve the kingdom of Krishna, abode of Krishna, Goloka or Vaikuntha. Okay, they go there. By what? By cessation of material existence, by giving up the material existence. So it's so tough, right? But, okay. So now Krishna also continuing, he's saying, Natyashnastu yogosti na chaikantam anashnata. Na means no, right? Nati ashnatastu yogasti na chaikantam anashnata Nachati swapna shilasya jagrato naiva charjuna yuktahara viharasya yukta chetas chestasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So he says, there's no possibility of one becoming a yogi. There's no possibility if one eats too much or eats too little, sleep too much or does not sleep enough. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all the material pains by practicing the yoga system. So think about it. Now, okay, so this kind of yoga is only recommended when. So that means when we look at all these things, so then why, first of all, the yoga system was created? All right. So this kind of yoga system was created during, all right, Satya Yuga. All right. What is yoga means? That means we have 4 seasons, like, like autumn, winter, and already we got 4 seasons. Similarly, for the entire creation, there's also 4 ages, millennium. So the first millennium is called Satya Yuga. In that millennium, people have a long lifespan. Their long lifespan means their lifespan is 100,000 years. They live a long life, 100,000 years. So they could go on and meditate for 30, 40,000 years to achieve perfection. Right? And second is Treta Yuga. In Treta Yuga means the lifespan after the Satya Yuga, the second millennium started. What happened is degraded. So the lifespan has came down to 10,000 years. So in Treta Yuga, meditation is not recommended. So what they do? They do this kind of fire sacrifice. Okay? They do this kind of huge, big fire sacrifice. All right? They do this kind of fire sacrifice, and they do, how they do the sacrifice? They simply chant the mantra, the fire will erupt by itself. All right? They don't use that King Kong brand matches or something like that. You just chant the mantra, pop, the fire will come out itself, and they do. And by doing that, okay, they will get liberated in that way. Then we talk about Dwapara Yuga. In Dwapara Yuga means the previous Yuga that from now. And in Dwapara Yuga, the third millennium is degraded even further. In this Dwapara Yuga, the devotees achieve perfection by doing deity worship. This is the time they build huge, huge temples. Now, all the temples that sometimes they say is built by aliens, some scientists is built by aliens, they're wondering how they could build. All this thing was built during Dwapara Yuga, right? When the lifespan of an individual was 1,000 years old. And they do this kind of fantastic deity worship and they get liberated. So in order to do this meditation, fire sacrifice, and deity worship, one must be highly qualified. To do these 3 activities, you must be very qualified. All right. But we have lost all the qualification in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, what happened? In Kali Yuga, it even degraded further. Our lifespan have reduced to 100 years. And of course, as Kali Yuga goes on, our lifespan will even further reduce to 50 years. All right. Nowadays, even nowadays itself, those people who want to live up to 60, 70 is considered a big thing. Right? It is very rare that people can live up to 60, 60 or 70 years old, right? So in Kali Yuga, how to achieve perfection? All right, in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, you must have qualification. But in Kali Yuga, you do not need to have any qualification. You simply raise your hand and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You achieve perfection. The thing that you can achieve in Satya Yuga by severe meditation, the thing that you achieve in Treta Yuga by doing this huge fire sacrifice, the thing that you do in Dwapara Yuga by doing this opulent deity worship, all these things can achieve easily in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna. So that's why in Kali Yuga Dharma is called Harinama Sankirtana. Harinama Sankirtanam is the Kali Yuga Dharma. It's called Yuga Dharma. So in this Kali Yuga, so it's proven. When Prabhupada went to America, when he just brought this Maha Mantra in, when all the Maha Mantras spread all over the world, in every town and village. And so many people from all kind of background. They can be the lowest, they can be the chandalas, the dog eaters, right? even they can achieve the highest perfection. Like there's a story on Finland, right? There's a girl who are taking initiation, but before the initiation, the spiritual master asked, please tell me about your life. Who are you? Where you're from? She said she's born from a family of Viking, and their family tradition, they love to eat, they are cannibals. They love to eat human being. All right, they are living in the sea nearby where there's what they call, there's a turbulence, a huge, the sea is turbulent. I think it's what I forgot the name of the sea. Right, the one sea lah. The sea is the most dangerous sea. Always a huge wave.
Not
People
sea.
used to not sea, yes. Okay. They used to go there to catch crabs and all these things. So the sea was crazy. So sometimes when there's a ship sails, it capsizes and all the body will be washed to the shore. And she said, but do you know, Guru Maharaj, my grandmother used to say, among all the eyeballs of the British is the most tastier. And then Guru Maharaj, ayo, enough. Don't say further. Because when we accept initiation, the Guru Maharaj is going to take all the karma. But he heard that, but even a cannibal Viking, the descendant of a cannibal Viking, can achieve the highest perfection simply by chanting this Maha Mantra. There's no qualification required. There's no nothing. You just simply chant and you start to see how the transformation start happening in your life. So this is the story about life of Narada. Okay, when you see life of Narada Muni, formally, Narada was born into a family of Shudra, right? That means a maid servant. And the mother used to work in the ashram of a rishi. And this boy grew up in that ashram, but son of Shudra, right? But after he's seeing all that great personality and he learned everything, he want to achieve this self-realization. So he went and meditated, do the severe meditation, and Lord Vishnu came, and that is how he achieved perfection. Okay. So even a Shudra, all right, a maid servant, okay, which is considered lower in the category of Varnashram, can achieve the highest perfection of being a Deva Rishi Narada. All right. Okay. Now we can say, I have no time. I have no time for bhakti because I am still young. Right? I am, how our life is gone. In our life, okay, sorry, this is another thing. Okay, now let's see how our life has been wasted. First, our life has gone in childhood when we are very playful. Then another quarter of our life has gone during the youth. Then another lifetime gone during the old age because you can't do anything much. And at last, the life is gone while we are sleeping, when we sleep. Okay. So now you see duration of life, Prahlad Maharaj, he says, in boyhood, 10 years of our life gone. In childhood, 10 years gone. Then in old age, 20 years gone. And in sleep, 30 years gone. So now we have that thing, how many years that we are actually practicing that we can achieve perfection by doing meditation. How? Right? Even though that we are given 100 years, but actually how many years actually we live? If you're going to sleep 8 hours a day, every 3 days, 1 day of your life is gone. If you are stuck in a traffic jam 2 hours a day, every 12 days, 1 day of your life is gone. Right? If you're going to bathe, you're going to, like example, having lunch, right? Lunch 1 hour, dinner, say 1 hour, 2 hours a day. So every 12 days, 1 day of your life is gone. So like that, when you really look at it, your job, you work for 8 hours or 10 hours OT, sometimes, you work around the clock. Imagine how much time do you actually have to achieve that perfection. Therefore, in Kali Yuga, meditation, fire sacrifice, and this temple worship, it is not recommended and it doesn't work. Especially meditation. Some will follow us, Guru, and he say they sit and meditate. No, it doesn't work. It's just going to have, that means the meditation process is simply you are sleeping with eyes, sleeping consciously. That means you're conscious, but you're sleeping. All right. It only can give you some little peace of mind, some calmness. That's it. But it can never give you liberation. All right. So how we can achieve perfection? All right. Then sometimes we can say, well, I only got very short period of time. All right. I'm old. I'm young. I'm whatever. I think I got a very short period of time. How am I supposed to achieve perfection? Let me show you some of the people who have perfected. Like for instance, Parishit Maharaj, he attained perfection in only 7 days. Right? Only 7 days he achieved the highest perfection and he went back home, back to Godhead. Okay, because first he insulted a yogi and of course he has been cursed. Then after that he was cursed that he will be killed by a snake and he got only 7 days to live. And within that 7 days, he went and approached Sukadev Goswami and he listened to all the Katha, Krishna Katha, that is Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken to him. And after 7 days, he achieved the highest perfection, only in 7 days. All right. So Katvanga Maharaj achieved perfection only in one moment because he thought he's going to have a long life. Suddenly he went and checked with the astrology. Of course, those days astrology is different, not now. And he asked, and the astrologer said, Maharaj, oh king, you only have another one moment. I think the next minute you're going to die. Really? And that moment, he just raised his hand and says, oh, Krishna, I'm yours. I fully surrender unto your lotus feet. He surrendered on the spot and he achieved perfection just in one moment. Okay? So, that's the thing. So, now think about it. How long do we have? And can we really do Astanga Yoga in this hustle-bustle city life? Can we do? When we do want to do yoga, pim pom, and all this, all this billboard and everything. Now it's worst thing. Now we have phone in hand. And the phone is connected to all the nonsense things that are available in the world. Right? Nowadays, that's why you see, like if the day I went to the clinic, all the person was sitting and just looking at the phone, nothing else. Right? Yes, life is too hectic, sad reality. But that is the fact, Prabhu, Dasaradan, because that is what you can never do that in Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, you can achieve perfection simply by chanting Hare Krishna. When we want to sit and meditate, even we want to sit in the yoga posture, your leg will cramp. Not possible at all. So I'm not saying that. You think about it. Right? So Bhakti Yoga, where you can perform anywhere, anytime, anyone, no qualification. So you can simply chant, you can just perform. There's a Radha Yatra festival is coming and there'll be a lot of Hare Krishna. You can go to the thing Radha. There's so many festivals that are around. Join the next Radha Yatra program. Join the Sunday program, Love Feast. Like today, Raja Lakshmi was there to join our program. And of course, there's another devotee from KL came to visit me. All right, CS Tan. So he came and he was there. Then any of the people? Yeah, I think K7 was there. I met K7 for the first time. All right, so he was there and today he's joined our class. So like that. So we just come, we have Kirtan, we look at the Lord, we just serve the Lord, we eat their prasadam offered to the Lord. All right, happily go back home. At least once a week. Then after that, you have to take your beads and start to chant Hare Krishna. So, and make sure that you read Bhagavad Gita every day. You attain, anyone can do it. No qualification required. And it's so beautiful. 633. Arjuna is now saying. Now Arjuna starts speaking. Arjuna vacha yoyam yogastvaya prokta samyena madhusudana etasyahang na pashyami chanchalatvat stiting stiram. Chanchalat is like monkey, cannot stay in one place. So Arjuna said, oh Madhusudana, the system of yoga you summarize appears impractical. It said not practical and unendurable. Can you imagine 5,000 years ago, such a great, powerful person saying this one doesn't work for me? Okay, because he said, for the mind is restless and unsteady. My mind is, because at first he said, you want to be a yogi. Now Krishna says, you want to do this? Now, he said, no, I can't do this. Because my mind is restless and unsteady. All right? And in 34, he says, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayur iva suduskaram. The mind is restless, turbulent. The mind is restless. and is turbulent, like the turbulent, right? Like Typhon and everything. Obstinate and very strong, O Krishna. And to subdue it, that means to control it, I think is more difficult than controlling the wind. He said even it's more difficult than stopping the wind from blowing. Right? Now let's look at this. This is what the okay. When you look at all the 5 forces are the indriyas, the senses. Sense of taste, touch, smell, ear, and eyes. There's the 5 senses here. And what is controlled? You see the string that the string which is called the rein. All right, the string that you hold the horse we call rein. So the rein is actually the mind. So the mind, the senses are pulling the mind. All right, and what controls the mind is the higher intellect, buddhi. The buddhi is the one trying to control the senses and the mind. And the consciousness or the Atman is sitting there and just wondering where is going to be my next destination. So like this, it goes and fall into the ditch, or it goes into the higher distinct. So all depends on higher intelligence and the mind. Okay, when the mind is keep distinct. So when you start to chant Hare Krishna like that, and how are you going to chant Hare Krishna? Also using your senses. You're going to use your tongue to chant. You're going to hold the beads in your hand, and you're going to hear what you are saying. Simple meditation. Take the beads. Just say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just listen to that. That's it. You don't need to say it. You don't need, no, you don't. Just simply listen, hear what you say. That's it. So when the tongue says, hand hold the beads, and the ears this thing, and the eyes will stop, don't want to see anything because the eyes is having happiness and this thing. And it will make the mind become sober. The horse will run slowly. All right, the mind could able to slow down the horse, control. All right, and the buddhi will be asking, hey, what is happening here? Don't know. It looks like all the senses looks happy, and I'm feeling happy. There's kind of vibration, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And the mind says, what is that Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? Feed it with Bhagavad Gita now. Oh, that is what. So like that, you just simply change your consciousness, your life become perfect. 35, Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Prabhu, the buddhi referred here is Lord Krishna as depicted in chariot situation in Mahabharata war. All right. No. This is totally different. There's an example I'm giving. This is nothing to do with that Mahabharata or this thing. All right. I'm just showing that buddhi here means the intelligent. You know, mind, intelligence, ego, the 3 things. All right. So I'm just putting that that photo just to to explain. It's nothing to do with Mahabharata. Like buddhi means Krishna and all these things. All right. Okay. So Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashanshayam Mahabaho Manodurni Graham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairakyena cha Grihat Griyate. Lord Krishna says, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult. Yes, it's very difficult to curb the restless mind. To curb the restless mind is to curb it, very difficult. But Krishna says it is possible. How? By suitable practice and by detachment. So now, chapter 7 going to start to talk about this. What is that suitable practice? And that is going to be the most highlight of the Bhagavad Gita, which is going to go into the most confidential part of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So what I suggest, today is Sunday, of course. Today is Sunday, yeah, Sunday. I hope that you all have read until chapter 5. So today you got opportunity, chapter 6. It's just a short verses, 35 verses. Please read that. Read the entire chapter and get ready for tomorrow, chapter 7. All right. So now Arjuna says in 37 and 38, Ayatri Shraddhayopeta Yoga Chalita Manasa Aprapya Yoga Sangsiddhim Kam Gatim Krishna Gacchati Kachinno Baya Vibrattas Chinnabram Eva Dasyati Apratisto Mahabaho Vimuda Brahmanapati. Arjuna said, Oh Krishna, what is the destination of unsuccessful transcendentalists? Now he asked another question. What happened to those who are unsuccessful? They try this, they fail. All right. Who at the beginning takes the process of self-realization with faith. Initially, when they start with so much of faith. But later, disease due to worldly mindedness. Because later, the mind will start to say, come on, la, go and have fun, la. Why everybody is doing, and why you are so weird guy, you want to do this, no? You get distracted. So what happened? And thus does not attain perfection of mysticism. They don't attain the perfection. And oh, mighty Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from the both spiritual and material success? I mean, those who tried, when they couldn't make it, do they fall into this thing? Material success, just like the perish, and perish just like a raven cloud with no position in any sphere. So what is a raven cloud? In the morning, you see the cloud, close the mountain and everything, right? In the morning. But after that, when the sun rises, you see all the thing disappears. They're called raven cloud. So he's asking, what happened to those people who attempt and all this but become fail? So is it failure? Because he wants to know. Is it worth the try? What happened to those who fail? All the effort. So Krishna says, then Krishna is saying, Prapya punya kritam lokan ushitva shashvati samaha shuchinam shrimatam gehe yoga brasto bijayate atava yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimatam etadi durlabha tarang loke janma yat idi idrisham. The successful yogi, the unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment in the planet of pious living entity, is born into the family of righteous people or family into the rich and aristocracy. Okay, 41. What he says, if unsuccessful yogi, if the yogi who doesn't make it, he go up, he tried, he failed, and he fall down. So what happened to him? He go to heaven. And he enjoy after many, many years of enjoyment. So what is it, many, many years? See, if you go to heavenly kingdom, if you go to heaven, Shurga, you live up there, you live up to 10,000 years. Your lifespan, you're given a time to enjoy 10,000 years. Isn't it a long period of time? What do you think? Is it 10,000 years is good? Why nobody saying anything? Good or not? Hello? Am I there?
Good, Prabhu.
Okay. I thought, no. Heaven is there, good, right? What do? Enjoy. There's Ramba, Urvarsi, all right? All the what they call? Ramba, Urvarsi. Then you have this Menaga. Then you have this, what is the thing, the damsels of heaven? What do you call? What is the name? Gandharvas. You have Gandharvas, you have Apsaras. Right, Apsaras will be dancing. Gandharvas will be dancing. Gandharvas dancing and Apsaras will be singing song. You just imagine, you just enjoy. And they give you a Somarasa. Somarasa is a kind of alcohol, heavenly alcohol. Right? So you drink, you just be merry. And for the next 10,000 years, you look like 16-year-old boy or girl. You'll be given a garland. And you look like a 16-year-old. You look so beautiful and you just enjoy and enjoy. Good or not, life? What do you think? I mean, whether negative or positive, but to go there and enjoy life, is it good or not? Hello. Come on, participate, please.
We will answer and get caught by you, Prabhu.
Answer and get caught. All right. So now, okay. Okay, now. So answer and get caught. Okay, now. See, what I'm trying to tell you here is, okay, now, any good days, say okay, there's a wedding reception happening in your family. All the family members got down, they do this mehendi and they have fun and all these things, right? Do you realize that this kind of happy things will pass very fast? Yes or not? Say for instance, Deepavali. Come to Deepavali, everyone will enjoy. But in no time, pop, it's finished. Yes or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So that means all that happy things in life will pass through very fast. Yes or not? So in no time, the 10,000 years is gone. And once the 10,000 years is gone, you have to come back to this material world. Right? You don't think, oh, 10,000 years. Oh, dashad, man. Oh, very good. Really going to have a nice time, enjoying my life, with so much of happiness, party, 24 hours for next 10,000 years party.
The end now.
But you, yeah, Prabhu. But you must, right? But you must understand, in no time it will go off. But what happened? After that, he's born into a family of righteous people or rich and aristocracy. So which family do you want to born? Righteous people or family of Ambani or Tata Birla, right? So when we born into a righteous family, okay, like family who are very decent, disciplined, very honorable family, like, you born there. Or you born into the family of rich and aristocrat, like Tata, Birla, Ambani, Tata, and all these things. What happened? When you have so much of money, you start to enjoy again. And that enjoyment will entangle you and you go back into this animal kingdom, repeated cycle of birth and death. All right? But after that, Krishna says, oh, atta va yoginam eva kule bhavati di matam. Oh, if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, that means after you what they call it, sincerely you practice and unsuccessful. All right. What happened? He takes his birth in the family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly such a birth is rare in this world. So that means if the thing failed there, okay, fail, but they'll born into a family of transcendentalists, say like this kind of devotee family. Because when they born into a devotee family, from birth, they're going to start to practice bhakti, and eventually they're going to go back home, back to Godhead. So which is more dangerous? To born here is riskier, to born here is safer. And Krishna says, such a birth is rare in this world. Etadi durlabam tara loke janma yat idrish. It's very rare. It's not easy, but this is the best. 45. Prayatnat yatamanastu yogi shangshuddha kilbisha aneka janma shangshiddas tato yati parangatim. And when the yogi engage himself with sincere endeavor, when he engage sincerely, making further progress, being washed of all contamination, then ultimately achieving perfection, after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. So that means a yogi want to achieve perfection. All right. So first of all, he must be what they call sincere. He but sincerely endeavor. All right. Then second, he has to be washed of all contamination. That means he shouldn't be sinless. He shouldn't be have any contamination, hatred, frustrated, and all these things. Then after that, ultimately achieving perfection. Then only they achieve perfection. And after achieve perfection, what is the scary thing? After many, many births of practice, after you become perfect, then you start to practice. After several births, then only attains the supreme goal. Imagine. It is not easy. So that's for now Krishna is saying something else. 47. So therefore he said, Yoginam api sarvesham madgat nantar atmana shraddhavan bhajate yoma sa me yukta tamo mata. What he says? And of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me. That means of all the yogis that you see around, but those with great faith who abides in me, always be with me, thinks of me, always think of him within himself, then render transcendental loving service to me. Bhajate. Right? He engaged in transcendental loving service. Then Krishna says, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga. And is the highest of all. That is my opinion. Krishna, that is my opinion. So, rather than sitting there and try to clean our contamination and become perfect, then practice for so many births, we simply abide in Krishna, think of Krishna within yourself, then render your transcendental loving service to him by chanting and reading and even distributing Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna says, you going to be the most intimately united to him in yoga. And after that, he says, it is the highest of all. So it doesn't take so much of effort. So when you look at yoga ladder, right? When you look at the yoga ladder, so this is the yoga ladder, how it moves up like this. Okay. So he said like first is karma. Okay, number one is karma. Then after you perform your karma, that means you start to engage your service and everything to karma. Then after that, you go to Jnana Yoga. That means try to, first is Karma Yoga. Second is Jnana Yoga. You are linking with Krishna through the intelligent. And number 3 step, you go to Dhyana Yoga. You go into meditation. And after you perfect all these Karma, Jnana, Dhyana, at last you come to that ultimate Bhakti Yoga. This is the ultimate. And only through Bhakti Yoga, you go back home, back to Godhead. So now, what is recommended in Bhagavad Gita? That do not need to go step by step. From Karma Yoga, straight away you jump to Bhakti Yoga. All right? From Karma Yoga, straight away you jump to Bhakti Yoga. You don't need to go through Jnana and Dhyana. So what happened to Jnana Yoga and Dhyana Yoga, the benefit? We will discuss in chapter 7. Will I still get benefit from all these or not? So this is going to be the shortcut. Okay? So that's the thing. So take the commitment, RDC formula, read Bhagavad Gita daily, distribute Bhagavad Gita and chant 16 rounds. You start to see your transformation. At least you can't do any of these 3. Try to do at least one for a start. At least start to chant Hare Krishna and read Bhagavad Gita. Or read Bhagavad Gita first and chant. But of course, chanting Hare Krishna is the most powerful activity. Right? Right? And then distribute. If you think you want to do it, once you feel comfortable and all this, then you can consider about distributing Bhagavad Gita. Because when you distribute Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will be very pleased with you. And I strongly recommend you to distribute Bhagavad Gita. If you want any of these 3 things, it's only at 50 ringgit. I'm distributing. And of course, today I also like to thank Cheong Prabhu, Chaitanya Dayadas. All right. So for giving a donation. And of course, that another Mataji is there. What do you call? I'll be sending the books on Monday. Shanti. Right? Shanti Samantha. I'll be sending the books on Monday, tomorrow. So if any one of you needs a book,
Thank you, Ji. Thank you.
when you want a book and a complete set you need, please do not hesitate, because I got some donations came in. I can give it to you for free of charge. All right. So with that, is there any questions, any comment or any reflection? So much, sorry for the interrupting here. There, Hare Krishna, wonderful insight. Oh, okay, okay, no problem. No, I want you to ask question actually. When you ask question, you make me excited. That means I know that you are thinking, you are listening and everything. So when nobody asks questions, sometimes I go into anxiety. I say, oh my God, am I speaking the right thing? Or do you understand? Or something like that. All right. So today, also I like to make an announcement. Today is Rajalakshmi's 25th birthday. So let's pray to Almighty Sri Krishna. And along with all these pure devotees, acharyas in our parampara, to bless her with more blissful and happy life. Okay, that may she be blessed with abundance of bhakti and peace. At the same time, we also have Cheong Prabhu, who is also known as Chaitanya Dayadas Prabhu. His daughter is going to deliver a child. I don't know whether she delivered or not. Has she delivered?
Yes, yes.
Oh, delivered. Oh, Haribol. What baby? Girl or boy?
Boy.
When? Today?
Yeah.
Wow. What a day for a child to be born.
Okay,
Right?
Prabhu. Boy,
So today is, no, because this month is Puratasi, is a month of Vishnu. At the same time, also, today's Sunday program, everyone was worshipping the Lord, you know. At the same time, what do you call? Today is Vijay Dasmi. Yesterday was Vijay Dasmi. Ravana was killed by Ram. And today was a celebration. Okay. And the Tithi is Ekadasi. But of course, the Ekadasi Tithi comes after the sunrise. So we don't celebrate today. We're going to fast tomorrow. So in other words, your grandson born on a very auspicious day. So we pray to Krishna and to all acharyas that your grandson will become a pure devotee of the Lord. Okay. So I'm so excited to hear this thing. Huh? So may he become a pure devotee of the Lord, and may he deliver millions of people in his lifetime and direct them back to Godhead. With that reflection, thank you so much. Is there any questions, any comment? Yeah, at 9:26, exactly 4 hours early. All right. If there's no questions and comment, we will continue the class tomorrow again. Tomorrow we meet at 7:30 same time, 7:30 until 9:30. And tomorrow we're going to discuss on chapter 7. Please don't miss that chapter 7. It's going to be very, very interesting chapter. With that, thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha paditanam pavinibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Good night. Have a beautiful day. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Go
Hare
Ranga.
Krishna,
Thank
Prabhu.
you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare